Hey guys, it's Joe from GadgetryTech, and today we're going to talk about some true wireless earbuds from Sport Outdo. These are the mifoSSS. They sell for $150, so naturally there's a lot of competition at this price range. So I'm just going to cut right to it, and we'll try to give you as many facts and user experiences I can share to help you decide if this is the right earbud for you. Now, I don't get special kickbacks with the products I review. I typically either refuse or don't ask for that. I will say that I will have an affiliate link in the description below. It's a generic affiliate link to support the channel. I think it's like a fraction of a percent or something, but they did give me a coupon code to save you money. I get nothing back. It's the same coupon code I believe other people receive. However, I'll have it in the description in case it ever changes. That'll save 20% off. So being that these are $150, as of right now, they're $120. So that'll help save you money, but again, it's nothing special for me. So it won't change regardless of whatever we set up with the company. It never changes how we cover the products. This will be an honest and truthful review. I do want to thank them for sending this to me. So with that being said, let's dive in. Now the mifoSSS has active noise cancellation, or ANC, and it's also IPX7 rated, which means it is fully waterproof, including submersion. So obviously that means it's dustproof and waterproof, so you can do up to a few feet for up to 30 minutes. Most people are fine with the IPX4 certification, which is basically your sweat and dust resistance. That'll handle things like rain and occasional sweat. But this is actually one of the smallest earbuds, period, that you can buy that offers the active noise cancellation and the IPX7 rating. So we'll talk about comfort and ergonomics in a moment, but that alone is a pretty cool feat. Now the mifoSSS is Bluetooth 5.2. There's no mention of Qualcomm or aptX or LDAC, advanced Bluetooth features for either lower latency or higher transmission rates. So I would safe to say it's safe to expect that this is SBC and AAC only. The battery specs are quite impressive. The case actually gives you a total play time of 40 hours. The earbuds themselves can run for up to 6 hours, depending on what your use case is. If you're using the active noise cancellation and you have your volume turned up, you can go as low as about 4 hours of battery life, but that's the normal operating window. And I think 40 hours is about average, if not above average, to what some other competitors offer in this price range. Now the mifoSSS has a really good active noise canceling system. So it has 6 microphones built in. It's a very sophisticated microphone array, and it helps for a few things. So I'm talking to you on the microphones now, but this microphone system helps block background noise. So if you're talking or having a phone call and you're in a restaurant, for example, or a subway, this is going to do a better job at rejecting that. It also helps make your voice sound better in those noisy environments because it's easier to distinguish who is speaking, or your actual voice over the noise. And then even if it's quieter, obviously that's going to help too. So there's a lot of benefits to that, and I think you're hearing it. Now you can set the noise cancellation to a medium setting if you want it more moderate. You can go to a high active noise cancellation setting, which actually does a great job. I found that it doesn't, some earbuds, when you have a high active noise cancellation and you're walking, you can hear like the bass because it's trying to counteract the noise it's picking up from your footsteps. Usually when your feet pound on the ground, for example. These don't do that, so I think the ANC on it is excellent. And then you also have what's called transparency mode. So again, if you press and hold to enable it, just press and hold for just over a second on the left earbud, transparency mode is enabled, and that helps bring in the outside environment noise to your earbuds. So these aren't as much of a barrier of what's going on around you. I didn't find that these were as clear as a couple others in this price range in transparency mode. However, I liked these more because I found a lot of other earbuds, when you enable transparency mode, you have kind of like a static or hiss sound, and the stuff it's bringing in, because the microphones aren't, studio grade mics, it's changing the way the sound is from the outside environment, and it just sounds kind of funny. You can tell it's artificial. Whereas this one, the way it's set up is more transparent. It doesn't seem to be altering the sound quality as much, and you don't have a hiss. So even though these aren't as strong or clear in certain cases, if someone is speaking softly, I'd much rather prefer how this transparency mode works over a lot of others I've tried. Now I have a lot of TWS earbuds, and I have to say these are the most comfortable earbuds I've ever used. I have a lot more earbud reviews coming out. I'll see how it compares against a couple others I haven't fully tried yet, but from all the ones I've had and ones that I'm working on reviewing right now, the ergonomics and size of these is seriously amazing. Now, when you put these in, and you can see how small they are. These are incredibly tiny. They have that little fin to help give you a little pressure in the ear. Now, I did running with these. You can sleep with these if you wear a beanie. There's a lot of benefits to being very small and light That little fin is very ergonomically shaped. You don't feel like anything's digging in. You know, some sport buds, you have the hook around the ear, or they have a lot of pressure, whether it's in your ear canal or against the pinna or the cartilage of your ear. So these have a really nice natural way of fitting in your ear. And if you're a side sleeper, again, if you're wearing a hat, to me, this is almost, it's so good that I wouldn't fault it if I found that others had better performance in this price range, because this is super important, long-term comfort. I can't stand wearing earbuds that after a half hour to an hour hurt, even if they sound great, because what's the point if you have to keep taking them out? So this is, to me, the biggest selling point with the mifoSSS is the comfort. And it's great and secure for physical activity too. So if you're running or working out, and if somehow they do fall out, because they have the IPX7 rating, let's say you're washing dishes and lean forward and one gets knocked out, hits the sink, they're not going to break from water in there. So I think from the actual everyday use, the way these are designed are absolutely amazing. They're easily the most comfortable I've ever had for laying down in case you're watching a show or something at night and you tend to rest on your side when you're holding your phone, for example. They're just phenomenal in that regard. Now, as far as sound quality goes, there's a lot to like and a few things I'm not as crazy about, again, just to be honest with you. So the bass response of these is definitely emphasized. These have more bass than a lot of other headphones I've had. Not as bad as some of the cheaper ones that are bass heavy but have no clarity. But the bass is definitely strong. And on a benefit to that, the way this bass is I was shocked at how deep the bass can go on these. Usually you can tell with earbuds they have kind of a fall off when you get in the low frequencies, like below 40 hertz. You know, the new Top Gun movie just came out and Hans Zimmer was the composer for that. So naturally I want to listen to the soundtrack, and I was blown away at how much, because Hans Zimmer is no stranger to low frequency bass, or LFE channel, and I could not believe how much bass was coming out of these. It was honestly shocking. And it didn't, when that bass comes on that heavy, it wasn't making the clarity worse. It's not like this was distorting and becoming really heavy and unclear. It's just tuned to emphasize the bass, but I found that regardless of what volume I was listening to, I was still getting the details in the mids and highs that I would get even at lower volumes. Having said that, the tonality or the voice quality of these is actually really, really nice, even though it's a little bit warm. If you like a warm profile, I typically like warm. I don't like so much bass, but I like slightly warmer because I like to have a little bit of depth to the voice, especially when you hear certain male vocals. But the vocal range is really well tuned. I think it sounds pretty natural. I think just because the bass is a little bit emphasized, the voices take just a little bit of a step back. It's not drastic, but the mid range is not at the forefront of the audio mix like some other earbuds that focus on the mids, but either lack or have too much higher bass, etc. So mid quality is excellent. The highs are definitely on the easygoing, laid back side. I don't want to say they're veiled, because on certain tracks I prefer this sound tuning. There's a lot of rock music or certain songs in general that can be very sharp and hard to listen to at medium to higher volumes. And the way these are set up is you can listen to those at medium or higher volumes, and it's not ear piercing. As soon as I switched to some other earbuds, it was those sounded very bad in comparison because they were too sharp or too harsh sounding for the tracks I was listening to. Conversely, if you're listening to a track that is more reserved or laid back and a fairly soft sound profile, that mixed with these will be very laid back and soft. You may not feel like you're getting as much detail or brightness to the song, which leads me to the soundstage. The soundstage of these is more boxed in. They're more centered and contained than a couple other headphones. You know, I have the Outdo Twig Pros. Those are $150 as well. They have a little bit better soundstage. They're more open. So if you want acoustic music to kind of ring out a little bit extra or have more space in the soundstage when you're listening to it, if you were to close your eyes, how far does everything seem apart? I think the Outdos do a slightly better job there. However, there was several things I didn't like about the Outdo that I sincerely like on these, and that's part of that is the comfort and stuff. So at the end of the day, now I've used the Outdo Twig Pros a lot. That's kind of been my primary earbud for a long time, but I'm so enamored by the comfort and ease of use that these have. And it's just the little things too with the ergonomics and design. These are touch buttons on the side. They're not a physical button. So the Audix you have to press. And because of their design, they're a little bit harder and they can hurt your ears. Again, I'm just using them as an example. They're still good earbuds. But with these, because of the way they fit and how it distributes pressure, when I do my tap to turn the volume up and do this one to turn it down, or double tap to play pause, for example, it's very easy to do and it doesn't hurt my ear. There's some earbuds out there, I just refuse to use either the touch controls or the push button because it's just uncomfortable. So I find that all I do is put them in and use my phone. These are one of the few where I feel like I can use the touch controls fairly consistently, and it was reliable. I had no problems there. And I think, again, the usability and comfort every day outshines chasing the ultimate sound signature. These still sound great. They're just not as open and airy. But I like all the other things they have to offer over the other ones in this price range. And I do want to say that at max volume, I couldn't get these to distort, even on bass-heavy tracks. And not only are these fairly powerful drivers, they do have immense power handling, but these don't get as loud as others I've heard in the 150 range. I think they're just, a couple decibels back as far as max volume goes. If you're listening to a louder track, I can't listen to it at max volume anyway. However, if it's a softer track, you may find that you wish you had a little bit more overhead to boost the volume more. Now, I actually like how the color scheme is of this particular one. I like the lime green aesthetic, and I think the build quality feels really nice. So one thing that's drove me crazy about certain cases is they may look cool or have better battery life or not, but they don't really fit in your pocket well, or they're not easy to open or understand very quickly, especially if it's dark, which side is which. This is a very smartly designed case. Because it's really smooth in all directions, you can put this in your pocket and it's still comfortable. A lot of cases you can't do that. So I really like that shape. And then you don't have to find the little notch to lift the lid up to open it and then fumble around. There's a little push button in a spring, which is really, really cool. So let's show you that. So I pop that up. You get the 3 LEDs that tells you how much battery life is left in the case. And I mean, you have a metal hinge. It really is a premium looking and feeling product. This is all metal. It doesn't feel cheap. And I feel like this will hold up for a long time. And then with the USB-C charging, it can charge up very quickly too at less than 2 hours, and you're fully topped off. So yeah, I think overall at the 150, the build quality and the design, and it's so easy to spot the left and right. They're not labeled, which was interesting, but they only fit in your ear comfortably one way. So you should be able to find out or figure it out pretty quickly which one goes where. All right, so that wraps up the review. Hopefully it wasn't too long for you. I think, you decide what's more important to you. If you want the open soundstage and the airiness for acoustics, or just a different design, I guess, altogether, it's totally your call. I think at the $150 price range, there's a lot of benefits that this has that other brands have not offered. And to me, the comfort is so huge. I didn't realize how comfortable earbuds could be until I got this. I think that's what I'd like to stress is more than anything else is for my everyday use, because you're active or you're laying down and stuff, those factors become very important to me. So I really like the mifoSSS, and I hope this review helped you decide if you do too or not. And if you have any questions, shoot me a comment. I always do my best to answer. The channel's been growing a lot lately, so thank you all for that support. If I don't answer, I'll try. But anyway, thank you again for the support. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And with that being said, I will see you next time.